Hi, my name is Yani and I'm from Bangalore, India. Mother of a 6-year-old son, 5 cats and 4 dogs. Corporate trainer turned makeup artist, and I'm known for male to female makeup transformations. And I make divas. So if at all you know anyone who wants to have this kind of transformation, here, here you need to go ahead and come to Darling. And I make divas. Today is the time when I want to introduce you to the allies. I'm going to be introducing you to Debbie, and I am trying to see where she is. Has she joined or not? Because all my clients, all my CD friends, of course, most of them are closet CDs, and for them it becomes very difficult. It's very difficult to know it's very difficult for them to know that there are allies out there and people are not going to judge them. So I am going to connect to Debbie Parwani. She's an old friend of mine, and I know that she is one of the most non-judgmental people out there. So I'm gonna say whether this lady is here. I am gonna see, is this lady here? Sue? No. Okay. So if anyone sees Sudimi joining in, just tell me, because every time I get messed up and I don't even realize whether the person has joined in or not, so that I can send them invite. So I don't know where she is right now. So I will take in questions right now that you know that I've started the hashtag Meet the Allies. Now I need you to tell me what is something that you would like me to ask Debbie. What would you like me to find out from her, because she's an ally. And I really think that allies to LGBT community is easy. I somehow go ahead and feel that. But Krishna, DM me. But then I feel that CDs, the cross-dressers, are the poor cousins. And I feel that they are the most misunderstood of the lot. And it's very difficult. Sudimi, finally Sudimi. Where is Sudimi? Seriously, man, every time I go ahead and do this. Hang on, Sudimi. I'm trying to go ahead and to join me. And in about a couple of seconds, she is going to be splitting the screen with me. Hi.
Finally.
Hi. So our connection is fine. Yes. So our connection is okay. You were right. That is something happens in the nights.
I think a lot.
And the connection is so bad. Isn't it? Yeah. So hi, Debbie.
Hi, Yani.
Guys, Debbie is a very old friend of mine, and we've worked together. And as I was telling the viewers, I was telling them that how non-judgmental a person that you are. But yes, of course, that at that point in time, we did not really go ahead and see a lot of LGBT people coming to or possibly they were not open at that point of time when we were working together, right? It was just one-off case, possibly just one person out of possibly the 2,000 or 3,000 employees in the entire organization that we could kind of figure out that this person is from the LGBT community. But one of the things that I kind of figured out that you are allies, because when I put up pictures of my CD clients, of the makeovers that I have done, you're one of the first people who would like that picture. And I'm like, she is very encouraging. Like, imagine how encouraging it is for that particular CD whose picture that I have posted, to see that a cis woman, has gone ahead and liked that picture. It is so uplifting for them, right?
True.
So thank you for that, Debbie. So I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions to understand, okay, what allies go ahead and think like. Like, I'm an ally, but I am continuously, meeting up with them, and I am talking to them, whatever. But I also want to know who allies are. So tell me, have you had any experience wherein, when you were training, that because you're a trainer, right? So when you're training, that you found that there was one person from the LGBT community in your training, and people were kind of like either bullying, or how did you handle that situation when you figured out this person is from that particular community and was kind of not treated well? How did you handle that situation?
Okay, so this happened. I got a new bag. And as I entered the training room, I saw the most weird situation. There was one person who was sitting alone at the right of the table, and there were about 20 people on the left-hand side.
Okay, we can't hear you. Okay, come near. We can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Ah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So like I mentioned that and on the right hand side there's a single person sitting there, and like left side is about 19 or 20 people. And I thought that was weird. New batch, new going.
Your
And
voice is echoing. Okay.
I don't know how to reduce. Maybe if I put my headset.
Try that. So guys, she was telling about this particular, training atmosphere. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So like I said that when I went there, I saw this person sitting alone, and from the way he was dressed, I obviously knew that the person was a cross. And so I didn't even talk to that person first. For me, the problem was with the crowd sitting on the left. So I asked them. I said, like India, Pakistan. Obviously, the person was more passionate. I said, in New left are Pakistan. So what is this? No, what do you mean by the person is not normal? It seemed, and in the person is dressed. Wearing clothes. He's not
So
wearing.
why? What was this? But then what was it with the person? I mean, was he dressed up differently, or how? Why were they sitting separately?
So one is he was dressed up very differently. He had this little a shirt converted and
Your voice is echoing, Debbie.
I still don't know. Maybe if I reduce the volume. Now?
I guess.
It's still echoing. Or technology.
Don't want to break the flow.
Okay. So, like I said, he was just very friendly. Like that. He had like a little blouse and very different which I noticed for the first time. So when I asked him, because he was dressed up and they didn't feel comfortable.
Oh, so they weren't comfortable.
They were very uncomfortable. The fact that all of you are sitting on the left, the person alone, I'm very happy. Decide to do something about it. And all of you are going to be marked up.
Okay. All of you will be marked absent. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
So do something about it, or you'll be marked absent. Okay.
I left the room. I gave them about 5 came back and they're like, I'm very now, and I came back, and then they sort of like divide. Came back side as well and sat down with. So I told them, I said,
Wow.
I will.
So what things better? What things better after that?
Yeah, because he was just such an intelligent person. He would open his mouth and it would be like falling off. I never seen somebody so articulate, soft in nature, so and all that. And when the crowd actually he became a big hit over there. Because when he went to the floor, the operation floor, he got a little and then he approached it. Well, they couldn't do anything about it because they said one person we can talk to, two people, the entire lot. So eventually he left and he said, leaving it.
Okay, Debbie, you know what? Are you holding the fan? Is that why there is a lag?
What say that?
I'm just thinking. What say that? Your voice is still echoing. Sometimes it's very, very clear. And sometimes it just like echoes. So that's what the viewers are saying, that, your voice is echoing. That there is some kind of like a connection lag. So.
Sound effects,
so
natural
yes.
sound effects.
So we'll figure it out. Okay, so the people who are watching, I am just hoping that we are still able to, this connection issue is always going to be there. So we'll still try and get the best out of Debbie at this point in time. So tell me, Debbie, so when, for example, let's say, I understand that gays are accepted. I understand that, lesbians are accepted. Okay. In the bigger umbrella, even people from the Hijra community are also accepted in a lot of ways when we talk about, like, when we, for example, I've seen a number of people are really nice to the Hijras, the transgenders. Anyways, it's a very big umbrella term. But to them, when they are at the traffic signal or whatever, sometimes there are people who have a small chat, like, how you doing, did you eat something, whatever, like bits, right? But have you heard about cross-dressers at all?
So there are a couple of really slowly with each other. So there are I got telling where we had and because I think of the way they it's the things that you could do. I haven't come across personally, but in terms of the exposure, a transgender, I have a ton of people and quite a few and women and but I haven't but so talented, so gutsy. In a society so judgmental and easy for people to do even change the way they look and that sort of thing. We haven't really met and looking at people through you. That will be the
Debbie, is there a possibility that you go like you I don't know why is there an echo? Is there a connection problem? So would you like to kind of take your phone and go around the house and we will see where is the best connection that we are getting?
I'm open to that.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll try doing that because everybody is going ahead and saying that we have an echo. So
now can
I
you
wonder,
hear me? Now can you hear me?
So when you start talking, no, it's all fine. All of a sudden in between, it's I lose you.
Nonsense, yeah. See, even when I'm saying, hear the echo.
So
now,
you'll have to kind of take a walk around. We'll see if at all this is kind of going ahead and working. So if at all, you feel, what's generally your advice? What should a person go ahead and do if in the office, if they are feeling like, people are trying to make jokes, or people are trying to treat them differently or whatever? How do you want them to handle that? What should they go ahead and do in a corporate atmosphere?
See, one personally, I would probably, the person was okay. So if somebody laughed at them, I used to have a lot of sniggering, stop and say, what the music.
And that's why it just paused. So that is what happened. So Miss Rajput, please help us to understand, because this connection is going on and off. Okay, so I'm going to keep asking the viewers, and we'll kind of figure it out. Sorry. So what should they do? They should go and speak to whom?
So like let's say, for example, if you laughed at the person or you laughed at me, I would just stop and very politely ask you, is there a problem?
Oh, really? Sometimes they don't really have that much of guts, yeah.
I would like them to become gutsy, because what happens is there's nothing wrong in what they're doing. Okay, the problem is in the mindset of the other person. Correct.
So do you think that when they ask like, stuff like what's your problem, they will be a little taken aback when they ask?
I'll tell you what happens is, because they are so shy of what people think about them, or the way society judges them, most of them don't open their mouth. So people expect them to be quiet. So the minute you say, is there something wrong, or is there something I can help you with, somebody's going to turn around and say, oh, sorry, no, I didn't mean to, sorry, boss, whatever. Okay, thank you very much, I appreciate it, and bugger off from there. That's about it. So
right. Okay, sorry, go on, you were saying something, go on.
So that one, it puts the other person in place, or checks you, and the next time you see the person, I'm sure they won't laugh, because they know, okay, the guy is going to turn around and ask you what's wrong, or the girl is going to turn around and ask you what's wrong, right?
Yeah, that is there. Sorry, I don't know why am I getting so many calls. I have no idea. Sorry, I don't want to lose the connection. Are we there? We are there. Fantastic. Are we back here? Are we back? Yeah. We are back.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, so when you see these pictures of cross-dressers on my page, right? Or, on FB or whatever, what's the first thought that comes into your head?
Okay, so the first expression is wow. Every picture, I go, wow. Okay. And then the thought is in terms of, I appreciate every person that comes so publicly to you and is willing to allow the pictures to be displayed, because obviously there are thousands of people who are, your fans, and they're following you, and, somebody is going to recognize you somewhere. So one, I'm like, bless the soul, because I think the person is so gutsy. The wow factor, the very fact that they are so comfortable after everything that you do. So there's a whole load of appreciation that I go through in terms of, saying hats off to this person. And silently somewhere I also say a little prayer that, so nobody should poke fun at them or make fun of them or whatever it is. I wish people could be as open-minded as us and appreciate the fact that, there's so much of beauty and there are two sides of it. And they could see it as well. So somewhere there's a little prayer also that goes like, Let them be safe. Let nobody get nasty with them. And I would, if anybody gets nasty, I want you to tag me on that comment. I'll just handle those people.
Okay. So, see, it's because, yeah, it's true. Cross-dressers are definitely not generally out there in the open. That's there. Out of, let's say, about 600 or 700 cross-dressers that I have, done makeup on, I think only about 20 or 30 of them have allowed me to put their picture up. Yeah. Because there is a lot that goes on, even when so I am also very careful in the way that I go ahead and present them. Like, I don't want, but the whole problem is, I feel discrimination is not really, is not really loud. People don't really talk about it. Sometimes, as for example, it's like, if I would have put one bridal picture work on my page, let's say on Facebook, it would have got, let's say, about 200 or 250 likes for sure, right? Because it has happened before when I was just into bridal makeup, etc. But now when I put a picture up of a really beautiful cross-dresser, there will only be about 7 to 8 likes, right? Now it's of course, I kind of understand that there is something going on. This is discrimination, right? For that person as well as towards me. It's
Correct.
because my work has not become, lower. It hasn't lowered down. It's not become inferior. In fact, it's become superior.
Correct.
But still, there is a discrimination, and it's like cold vibes.
So with these kind of people, there's not much that can be done. Okay, people who have balls and are gutsy, hats off to them. People who want to hide behind and go with. I've had a lot of people who question me. How come you're so comfortable with transgenders? Like when we're at the signal lights, I'm talking to them, singing with them. There's this girl in Ramuti Nagar called Lata. She's constantly singing him. So when I stop, I sit and I sing with her. My sister has a conversation with her. And the whole world looks at me like I'm come from outer space. I'm absolutely fine with that. We really can't, I would love to beat the crap out of these people, but we really can't do much about it. So we'll have to just wait and see in terms of exposure, in terms of people becoming open-minded, hopefully broad-minded, and people like us as well, become like us. We can pray for them. That's something we can do. But discrimination exists, my love. The very fact that, when you go to clothes stores, I constantly ask people, why don't you have a size 40? What we are not looking for. I would love to look sexy in a dress. They think it's below their dignity. They only get like size 0 and -5 and -10 and all that. So discrimination exists everywhere. And there's not much we can do about it. Those of us who are comfortable. I think you paused again. And popular people.
Thing is, every time I'm getting a call, it is pausing it by itself, and I don't know which idiot is calling me at this point in time. Same person is calling me. I'm disconnecting. The person needs to understand, please do not call me. But no, they're just gonna go ahead and call me again and again. Yes, I get the point. So tell me, do you have friends in the LGBT community? Do you have friends like who come to your house and who chill out with you and who hang out with you? Who hangs
Absolutely.
out with you?
We have, in fact, a couple of my very close friends gay. I have a relative who's lesbian as well. I have a lot of lesbian friends as well. I have a lot of gay guys who are friends. And we are absolutely comfortable with them, to the fact that, very early in my career, a couple of gay friends would come home. And my mom was absolutely comfortable with it. My dad was absolutely comfortable.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't know it, by the way. My mom, after the person left, my mom said, do you know the person's gay? I was like, are you mad? Because, he's so smart and, the way he walks and blah, blah, blah. She said, you know what, he's going to confess to you one of these days. And it happened. So I was like, okay. So I said, are you okay with it? She said, why? They're human beings. How does it matter? So I think, even in terms of the upbringing, my family was very comfortable with all my friends and still are in terms of my brothers and sisters, whoever's left. My husband's completely comfortable. In fact, he does a little bit of flirting with them and all that in between. So, yeah, so I think in terms of them coming home, there's no discrimination. There's no so even if other friends are around, and if I see anybody acting a little weird or, whatever, I call the person aside and I say, can you chill? If you're not comfortable, you leave, please. I've done that a couple of times. They're like, no.
Wow.
Smile, because that person is closer to me than you. So that way, everybody then friend circle behaves.
So tell me honestly, I understand we accept all these people, but I am sure that there is a little bit of jhatka. There's a little bit of the microsecond shock that we feel that, when we see somebody dressed up in a very, very different way. For example, I'm speaking about a cross-dresser, right? For example, if at all I am training a batch and I saw somebody who was wearing, I saw a guy dressed up in something really flowery, like floral and all of that, and maybe a band or maybe an earring or maybe a nose ring, right? I mean, there is a microsecond shock. There is a little bit of what just happened, right? It is very natural. I'm sure you also kind of have this a little micro shock, no, all of a sudden, because you're not expecting it. You don't expect, you get inside a training room and all of a sudden you're not really expecting somebody like that.
So what happens is, sorry to cut you off.
No problem, go on.
Anything new in life, right? Like, for example, you go for a shower and sometimes the water can be extra hot and you can get, the jhatka, whatever.
Good one.
Then you get used to it and gradually you sort of know how to handle the situation. So how much to turn the knob to the left or turn the knob to the right so that you don't get that shock and you get used to it, you get accustomed to it, you get comfortable with it. So I think with me that happened over the years. Until and unless you're wearing something very transparent, I can see your chuddies and you have leopard print or something.
Dude, we exactly know whom we are talking about.
Yeah. So for that.
No. So guys, to just tell you, we're not making fun of anybody, but just to go ahead and tell you that there was this when Debbie and I used to work together. So there was this gentleman who was fantastic and a great sense of style. Very beautiful clothes, very unisexual kind of clothes, but there were times, and he was a trainer. But there were times that he would wear this transparent trousers and his inners would be visible. We could figure out which color, what pattern, and even that used to be have pattern, his undergarments as well, right? So that is you're crossing the boundaries, isn't it?
Correct. It's like saying that I'm so pig-made and I'm going to wear this sexy fishnet stocking top and walk out. Obviously, people are going to get shocked, no matter how trendy you are or whatever it is. But for me, more than the shock, it was I would be possessive to the fact that he's literally opening up the window for other people to make fun. For me, it was more that I would be like, oh no, oh gosh, what's this guy doing? Where's his brains and that sort of thing. Yeah, a lot of times I did compliment him on his studies as well, saying that nice print and nice color and all of that. But then, we actually had to.
That was a little too much. That was a little too much. I don't really think, like, for example, if a cross-dresser who's, let's say, wants to dress up as a female and go to the office, and office is okay about it, for example. But there's still got to be some particular boundary that a person should maintain. This is what I generally feel.
Yeah, I think even as human beings,
like it's as simple as that. If I'm a trainer and if I have this, whatever style, whatsoever, but I can't go with a transparent t-shirt, a transparent shirt with my bra showing. It's as simple as that. Like I'm not going to get respect. I'm going to be I'm going to get eyeballs for all the wrong reasons.
Correct. And for me, that's the situation where I get shocked, because for me, I'm like, this person has brains. Why would you even do something like that? Other than that, hasn't been like a real shocking incident in terms of, because I think they're also very conscious of the fact that they want to look good. They don't want to. First of all, they know that people get shocked, right? So it's until and unless you're like doing like a Victoria's Secret photo shoot and you have to be outlandish or whatever it is. Otherwise, I think they're pretty decent, in terms of the way they dress, in terms of for the fact that I've seen them wear stockings. So, it's not scary.
Right. Okay. So what if I come, for example, if I you do these housing meets, right? Which hasn't happened, of course, in quite some time. So, for example, in like your housing meets has got like, I don't know, hundreds of people sometimes, isn't it? Yeah. So what if hi queer soul. So what if I come with a friend of mine, like queer soul, like, this person who's just said hi. She's like pretty much out there. Okay. You dress her up and she wants to, like, she'll say, come, let's go buy ration. She's like that. She'd be like that. So imagine if she's at home, okay, like if she's visiting me and that's your housey night and, she dresses up. Can I get her to your housey night? Imagine how, what's going to be, how is it going to be? I mean, let's just visualize. Okay, so I'm going to get her a cross-dresser. She's a fabulous looking lady, right? So if I get her to your housey party, which has got about hundreds of people, and you really cannot, it's not really like your training batch, right? They are like friends or acquaintances or other people, because your housing nights are pretty known. So many other people come in, not necessarily people who know you personally, right? So how will you handle that kind of situation? Because it's still your housey night. And she's still, my friend Annie is still your guest and still a cross-dresser. How does this
her around? I will chaperone her around, and I don't care whether I'm related to the person or not. If it is my hosting and if somebody misbehaves over there, I will take charge. That way, I'm a Pulim Devi when it comes to these situations. And for me, respect is very important, and in small aspects. So if I openly or see somebody doing something or misbehaving or whatever it is, like for example, when I go for, when I used to go to the discos and whatever it is, if I see somebody acting stupid with a lady, I don't even know the lady, but I would interfere. I would go because I consider myself like a bouncer. So I will make sure that I do everything in my power to make her feel comfortable. And the person who made the other person uncomfortable, I will make that person uncomfortable. That much of capability I have. So like I said, your friend is my friend, my darling, and I will shut away.
Hey, Annie. So Annie just actually Annie was commenting and she said she's never been to a housey party, and so she's welcome now. She can just come with me to Debbie's party. Hi, Kevin Anchan. We were talking, so I couldn't say hi to you. Okay, so tell me seriously. So, when you're in a training batch, I know I spoke about it, but that time there was a lot of lag, right? So I just wanted to kind of again get back to it. So in a batch, when people gang up towards an LGBT, towards a person from the LGBT community, how do you generally go ahead and handle that? I mean, I know you can kind of like go ahead and talk and all that, but behind your back also there's going to be so much more. There are going to be other trainers also who are possibly not allies. They are, some are tolerant, some are just not supportive. You know, some will in fact come into the training room and just completely avoid that person, not look at the person, not train the person. Means there will be such bad cold vibes, right? So when you're in between all of this, how do you handle, how do you still become an ally and still go ahead and handle all these people around you?
So one is, I don't like to lecture. I like to get the person to think by asking questions. Okay, so if it's the lot that misbehaved, I ask them questions like, if you were in the place and if somebody treated you like this, how would you feel? Would you be okay? Do you think it's normal? So ask them questions. They don't even have to answer me. Think about it. The person itself, let's say, for example, I don't have control over other trainers, but I would make sure you know that I'm your friend, I'm your ally, and I would make you feel comfortable enough to come to me and let me know if somebody else gave you, hell to play, whether it was a train or whatever it is. And I would go to that person, I would do this. I'd ask the question. I said, listen, we're the bigger people. We're supposed to be facilitators. We have the power to make their lives, break their lives. For a long life, I've learned a little bit of these things, tricks instead of slapping them physically on the head. I would get them to think.
But one of these advices that you would like to give to, let's say, a cross-dresser who, see, as I said, LGBT community is like a it's a large community. It's got so many different people, right? Now, when I'm talking about cross-dressers, if you find out that one of your colleagues, not necessarily you are friends with the colleague, but if your colleague you found out through somebody, whatever, likes to dress up as a woman, and maybe the pictures were leaked and people were like, gossiping a lot, right? What should happen? What's the ideal thing? Like, you understand that these are not gays, these are straight people.
Correct, yeah.
Some are gender fluid, of course, but I'm talking about a straight CD. I'm talking about a man who just likes to dress up as a female. So he will possibly be mistaken as a gay as well, right? Because we don't understand cross-dressers. Cross-dressers are a completely new term, and we will put them under the umbrella of like, gays or whatever. So how will you go ahead and handle something like that? Or what will you do in a situation wherein, this cross-dresser story has just come out and the person is very uncomfortable? What should be done? What should this person do? And how will you go ahead and handle it?
So I would, let's say, for example, I was in the corporate sector, and if something like this happened, one, I would approach the HR, and, because they are supposed to take care of every person, right? In terms of making them feel secure and safe and whatever it is. I would approach them. I would like to create an awareness program for the group that did the entire nonsense or whatever it is. I would like to put them in a training room. I would, if I have to create a module in terms of what is the difference between transgender, what is the difference between being gay, lesbian, and a cross-dresser, I would do my complete research, probably come to you as well. And I would like to do an awareness program, because what happens, a lot of people don't know the difference. Like we said, we take for granted that because you're in a church that, oh, okay, chalo, you're gay. So creating an awareness also is huge. Once you're able to do that, and people know that, okay, no, so the person is not gay, and there's nothing wrong in being gay. Okay, so it's just there is a part that the person enjoys dressing up. Like I have a friend who wears trousers and everything, but internally he wears fitted garments.
Yeah. Crossdresser, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's about just being aware that this is it, and there is no harm in it happening. And if you are causing problem to somebody else's life by, leaking pictures and making a mess out of it, then probably even legal action can be taken to you. I think every HR person needs to have like we have the anti-sexual harassment policy, right? This is the kind of harassment, and the person should be held liable for probably causing pain to the person's life or that sort of thing. So these things, I think, a lot will help with awareness programs. I would run a training session to say that, this is it, this is it, this is it. And people like you and me who I consider powerful, we know that we can make an impact in people's lives, and I think we have the responsibility to do that as well. When we come across situations like that. And I think we need to use the power. So if somebody comes back and does some nonsense, we should put them in their place very sweetly. I think both of us have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? That's the reason why my first guest for Meet the Allies needed to be you.
Oh, I love you.
Because you're just so clear. Like I have been speaking to a couple of others, and I was lining up the allies, for the show, like maybe once a week or once in a fortnight. So I was like, Debbie has to kickstart the show,
Like somebody just mentioned something in the comment about the education system. I think even that would make sense if we could, because as babies, when, the thought process, they probably see how an elder reacts or whatever it is. We can even bring that into the education system. I don't know when it will happen in India, if it will happen in India. But
I think little bit has started. I think sensitization processes have started, but very few cities and very, very few places. I think the new generation, of course, I mean, people are coming out. There are a lot of other people. It is happening, but it is not mainstream. It is not really like a mainstream subject or whatever, how we need to go ahead and, manage that, or who are the people, or the third genders, or the community, etc. So yes, of course. I mean, that definitely needs to go ahead and happen. And thank you so much, darling, for being an ally. And I am guessing that a lot of people will end up, because this is going to be in the preview. This is going to be in the LGTV as well, and maybe in YouTube as well. So I feel that a lot of people will end up messaging you. So you have to handle that. You have to figure out. Now that you've come out and said, I am the ally, people will be, I don't want people to go in and say, I want to talk to you, sister. I have a problem. I understand that, but then, just because she's presented as an ally, please also understand there are some that, the way that you approach, a few things that you'll have to figure out by yourself, and a few, few things, of course, that you would need allies for, etc., etc. You get the point.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much, Debbie, for being on the show. Yes, and I shall see you shortly. That's my son wanting to say hi to Debbie auntie.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Okay, nice. And Annie already has got an invitation from you to join the housey party.
Absolutely.
So I think like Merry Christmas is here soon. All right, darling. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you,
I shall see you soon, darling. Thanks. Okay, bye.
Bye.